Hi there, everybody. My name is Kate. Welcome to my discussion of Mercury Retrograde. This is a timeless message that's going to be discussing Mercury Retrograde as it's happening in fall of 2021. However, it's a timeless message. You can grab a hold of your energy and your understanding of energy at any time. It's like sitting down to learn your multiplication tables in December versus May versus June versus any other time of the year. This particular time of the year that I'm coming today is Libra season and Mercury retrograde as it's happening in September of 2021, going into the month of magic making in October of 2021. And I want to talk to you about karma, and I want to talk to you about Libra season, and I want to talk to you about Mercury retrograde because they're all swirling together. And it's always swirling together in the quantum field, in the quantum space. Energy is energy, vibration is vibration, and it's not going to stop vibrating just because the human understanding says that we're on this time schedule. Right now, it's a potent time. However, if you're catching this at some other Mercury retrograde or just someday randomly in 2022, it really doesn't matter, boo. Is a good time to talk about me, talk about you, and how we go forward, understanding our energy and how we deal with those planetary alignments that are coming in to help us with our refinement of our divinement. Now, Libra season. Libra is Empress energy, and it is all about justice and balancing. And balancing and karma are the exact same thing, all right? Balance and karma are the exact same thing. People say karma is and they'll get theirs. Well, let's get a different understanding of what karma is and what manifestation is, what balancing is, and how that pertains to what October's magic making might be about, and how we're going to do that through a retrograde cycle that's happening in Libra season. Okay, now the way that Mercury retrograde works, the planet of Mercury actually appears to be turning around and going back and taking its course backwards. What does that mean to me as an Earth citizen? Well, it means that the energy that's going to be coming towards me and is coming towards me during those retrograde seasons and any other time that I care to take a peek in that little quantum closet, it's just more emphasized now energetically, that's a perfect opportunity. Mercury retrograde is saying, hey, let's bring up some stuff for review. And I don't know about you, but I don't find that when I'm getting stuff up for review during these cycles that I'm getting opportunity to look at all my rah success. It's not a Walk of Fame, here's your star, Kate, and let's talk about all the things that you've done really banging well. It's usually something about where I went to holy hell with something and a review. And it can bring up a lot of shame monkeys. It can bring up a lot of, turbulent feelings. It can bring up a lot of resentments, a lot of blame, a lot of judgment, a lot of, nastiness. It can bring up many things that will ignite little Medusas inside of us. And that's why I'm coming to you, is to help maybe understand the energy just a little bit better. So let's take that and put it aside for 1 second and talk about Libra season and how it is that balancing during a Mercury retrograde. It's an opportunity to take a look at our busted math. The universe is a beautiful teacher. It's not harsh necessarily. It's harsh when we don't understand the math equation that we're trying to put together. If we are asking the universe to help us manifest and we're putting in a 2 + 2 = 4, then our manifestation is golden. We're out the door. If we're putting in a manifestation request and our equation is 2 + 1 = 4, the universe is not going to be able to pass that one. We're not going to be able to pass on that. The universal mathematician is going to not be able to pass us on that. Our math teacher is not going to let us graduate from that grade up to the next. You won't get into the college of your choice if you can't pass the SATs because you don't understand math, right? So what does she mean by that? I mean that if we're looking around and we're not willing to look at what Libra season is bringing with, let's get some balance here, karmic balance, and it's Mercury retrograde season where we're going to have a chance to have those past successes and failures, probably the failures, right? Perceived failures, if we're being given the opportunity to review old patterns, old cycles, old anything, if it's bringing up something in you, is there to review. And like I said, very few of us are going to get an opportunity to review all of our successes. We're usually getting a review of something that really could be tweaked and made better. So why not use this energy flow, get in the flow of the now, and just do what it takes to pass math class on that one, teach, right? So karmic balance can be tough to understand. Universal energy is not nasty. It's not mean. It just isn't. It's a law. It's like saying that gravity's mean because you fell out of a tree. Gravity isn't mean because we fall out of trees. Gravity seems mean, and the process of falling out and busting our head open, that can feel real terrible, and it can make us very angry at the universe and angry at gravity. However, gravity just is. It doesn't sit around going, what an idiot. We need to understand before we climb up into a tree that there's the risk of falling out of that sucker, and you're going to bust your head open if you're not prepared, or you don't know what you're doing, or you don't understand that law. Now, gravity's a lot easier for us to understand because it's right here on Earth, and we get that pretty well. Karma doesn't work quite as fast usually. Energetic source and energy, it can be out in the quantum field kind of zipping around, and we don't really get that karmic return right away. That, very few of us are going to hop down out of a tree or fall out of a tree and not land almost immediately to the ground. Karmic balancing and karmic return and Mercury retrograde, bringing that up for review of those places where, I'm not able to necessarily manifest what I want to in October, the month of magic. Woohoo, let's have a good time. Please do. However, it might not be able to come all the way through with all of the power and all of the ability to do what we want to do, because we're not quite understanding that, gravity works faster. However, universal law, it works. Karmic return may not be as fast, and usually isn't. It takes some time on Earth for cosmic time to make its way through. So when we're talking about what do we do with stuff that is up for review, where somebody's done something to us, where we've done something to somebody else? How are we going to be able to assist Libra energy? How are we going to be able to assist our own synergy and our own trinergy to understand how we can make a better plan going forward, and then manifest at a different level of understanding ourselves, and then find ourselves worthy of receiving all of the abundance that the universe has to give? Every single person, I don't care who you are or what anybody says, every single one of us deserves to have abundance and abundant living, no matter how many terrible choices we've made, no matter how many awful decisions that we've put out there, and no matter how much bad math. Now, that doesn't seem very fair. She did that to me, he did that to me, and it's true. We have people that can be held accountable for doing some pretty terrible things. Yes, indeed. It's not the human being that's unworthy, however. It's the behavior of human being that is not worthy because it's at a lower frequency. Lower frequency is not going to translate and convey all the way to a higher frequency. If you do not feel yourself worthy of what you're asking the universe for in the month of magic making, or in that karmic balancing, if you are still vibrationally down here, believing something about yourself, or living in fear, or putting out there that somebody else has the power to affect your manifesting hour, then that's vibrationally not an equation that will work. That's the universal mathematician saying, that doesn't work. And so here's your paperback. You want to look at that and see that 2 + 1 does not equal 4 there, darling. You got to go back and redo that and take a look at that. And so anywhere where we're spitting out wrong equations, what does a wrong equation look like? Well, it can look like that I'm blaming someone, I'm shaming someone, or worse, that I'm allowing them to blame me and shame me. And Mercury retrograde, holy moly, you're going to get a chance to have lots of opportunities. Perhaps, I know that for me, like I said, I don't often get the curtain opens and, I'm being given accolades for my great performance of the past. This Mercury retrogrades are usually about where I wasn't as, and how do I fix that? It isn't about shaming myself, blaming myself, or putting it out there for anybody else, much as I want to. Man, I'm a human being and I have an ego, and I need to really allow that death to not be so slow, not let that ego death be so slow. Let's make that one a pretty quick one. That I don't feel the need to put it out there that somebody else did something to me. Behavior needs to be held to accountability. However, for me to try to withdraw nobility from another person is not allowed. That's the wrong equation there, Kate. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Oh, that's not fair. And it doesn't feel fair. It doesn't seem fair, except I just know that divine justice is what takes care of that. I'm not the Avenger League and I'm not the Justice League. I need to make sure that I understand karma. Karma means that divine justice takes care of everything. I have to act in accordance with the law and do my part and put up healthy boundaries everywhere that is mine to do. However, I can't exact healthy boundaries on you. That's not a healthy boundary. That's me establishing what it is that I want in my frequency. Do I feel myself worthy of receiving everything that I would like to receive? And if I don't, it's very easy to see. Do I have everything around me that I want to have? Because if I don't, there's somewhere inside of me that feels bad. And that seems like a very trite way of looking at it, and it kind of is. However, it's kind of the truth. Keep it real simple, that anywhere where I'm not already very satisfied with my life being exactly the way it is, why? And why am I asking for something more? Doesn't mean that I don't look for the next thing. Doesn't mean that I don't have a goal. It doesn't mean that I'm not aspiring to have other things or to attract and manifest things into my world. Doesn't mean that. It means that why am I asking for whatever it is that I'm asking? And how is karma playing a part in that? How is Libra balancing playing a part in that? And until I can get very honest with myself about what my thoughts are regarding that, that's a worthiness issue that I don't even want to look, that it might be on me to look at me and my divinity and my bad math on, oh, I see. Do I feel worthy of having everything that I want to be having? And am I grateful for what I already do have? And if we're looking around and we see just nothing but, a bunch of stuff that we don't want, well, hang on tight, because it can be made right, and it can be made right with honesty, with integrity, and with the discipline to be able to look at karma in a slightly different way, instead of saying, well, karma's a bitch, it'll get them. That's true, and it'll get you too. Just like me. I mean, it's like saying that gravity's going to get you. Well, if you jump out of a building and you don't have any way to get down other than this, you're going to have a frown and be splat and you'll be done. So it's a matter of change the idea and change the frequency of the idea, that I need to work in the flow of the know and go with that synchronicity and understand the universal law as it is dictated to me by my universal mathematician that is inside of me, that will let me know how I can balance the equation, how I can go forward with correct math. Anywhere that I did incorrect math in the past, a teacher of any goodness that I want to study from isn't going to talk to me about a test that I did 3 years ago when I was a sophomore in high school or whatever. They're not going to talk about how bad I did on that test. They're going to continue to work with me until I can get the right equation or the right frequency. And that's what the universal mathematician in every single one of us is here to do. It's what we have there, boo, that we can go inside and say, wow, okay, I really didn't do math very well back there. How can I fix it today? And it's the honesty, the integrity, and the dignity of balancing those equations, especially during Libra season and Mercury retrograde. You can have an opportunity. Look, here it all is right here. Take a peek at that. And if we're running away because we lack courage, or we just have something else we'd rather be doing, it's kind of unpleasant work. It can be a little bit challenging, and it can be very emotional. It can also be very empowering to know and understand our own energy, and to know and understand the universal principles are solid. They are tight. They're airtight. You can't get around them. You can't stop them. You can't, get out of them. And we might be able to outrun karma in appearance. However, we're always going to be a gatekeeper. There's always going to be a gatekeeper to having a full flow of what it is that we really want to know about our lives and ourselves, because we're not really being honest with ourselves. If we're not living in every expression to the fullest extent, then we've got work back here in Mercury retrograde season and Libra season is a good time to really look at that and be honest. And you don't need to tell me or anybody else. I wouldn't. If I were you, I would just go inside and start talking to your divine teacher and say, how can I balance the books on this so that I feel worthy of receiving the life that I really would like to be having, and be grateful for what I do have, and why is it that I want that instead? And is it to continue to raise my vibration and have a good time? Then you're standing in line and you're ready to go. I'm going to stop this now because I only get 15 minutes. I'll go on to the next video. Hang on tight. Thank you, friends. See you.